But anyway, back to the breeding deal. All of our dogs goes back, I'd say, over 70 years. Back to old Lake Bar breeding.
Yeah.
Every dog Gary would have would go back to old Beans Ranger, Wilbur had, Doyle, me, Ricky, whatever, you know. So it's over 70 years.
Wow.
I'm 70-year-old, so I didn't do it. You know, Dad done it.
Right.
But Dad, when us boys got old enough, and mostly Wilbur and Gary, because they were the oldest, but they went to pushing the dogs. Gary's the one that really, Wilbur's a good hunter, but Gary's the one that really put the money in to push them.
Yeah.
Until I come along, then me and him both did.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some other families out there, I can't think of any right now, but that's carried a line of dogs for 70 years. I mean, that says a lot.
It does.
You know, maybe the Dunlaps with the Walker dogs over there, maybe them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, and you got there's a few other guys, and their names leave me right now. But when you say 70 years, 70 plus years, 70 plus, so it's more than 70. This line of dogs have been in this area and then dispersed out through the United States. I mean, that just says something.
Gary still breeds a lot of dogs. Now I don't. I don't care. But now Gary does. He lives for it, and I'm proud of him. You know.
Yeah.
But I got a farm. I got cattle. I got grandkids. I got stuff I want to do. I want to hunt when I want to hunt, and when I want to watch a baseball game, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it just. I've done my share.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd say all of y'all have done your share to keep this line up and going.
Mm-hmm.
First off, let me say thanks to Mr. Lonnie Utchman, Mr. Tom Williams for helping us get this put together with Mr. Lonnie and getting him to sit down, and my co-host Brett Big Money Stevens. He had a little hand in it, I guess. We'll give him a little credit for helping get all this put together. The excerpt that you just heard was from a separate recording from the original interview. Went back and met with Mr. Lonnie, and we had a few more things we wanted to add in here, and I've kind of pieced them together in there where they made sense. And man, what a story! How do you put 70 plus years in a couple hours of podcast? It's impossible, but we did our best to try to cover that and get all the information about this line of dogs in there and what their family has done, through the years to keep this line going and keep it alive. And I think they've done an outstanding job. So again, thank you, Mr. Lonnie Utchman, for taking time out of your day. Mr. Tom Williams, thank you for taking time to be there and help us get this set up. I know you didn't say a whole lot, but I know you had a big part in it. We're going to get you to this interview, but before we do, we have a few little stats here that Brett's going to read on Hawk and Hornet that I think will be interesting and will go good with this part one of the Utchman Bluetick story. Yeah, that's right, part one. There's no way we could get it all in one. So before I turn Brett loose and let him read that, I do want to mention we talk about the Utchman Memorial Hunt that's held in Ava, Missouri every year. Unfortunately, where we talked about it at was not on part one, and next week, at the time you're listening to this will release on Monday. Starting on Friday of this week, the Utchman Memorial Bluetick Hunt will be going on in Ava, Missouri. So if you can get there, you'll be able to see Mr. Lonnie, I think Mr. Gary, and some of these other guys there in person and shake their hands. I think they're doing an HTX hunt on Thursday night with a fish fry. So I wanted to kind of read the hunt stuff to you so you kind of know, because you're going to hear about that in part two, which will be the following week. But I wanted to get that read so you know. So Booker County Coon Hunters Association, Ava, Missouri. Tom Williams will be your contact. And on Friday night, they have the bench show at 7 o'clock. They also have a 2-hour night hunt at 8. Saturday, June 22nd, 5 p.m., bench show, 8 o'clock, night hunt. If you can be there, go be with them. I know this is a big deal in this part of the country, and if you're close enough to get there, I'm telling you this on Monday. Try to make plans to get there. If you can't get there Friday, try to get there Saturday. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm going to turn Brett loose and let him read these couple of stats on Hawk and Hornet. And then we'll get right into the show. And, man, I hope y'all enjoy this as much as I did recording it. It's a lot of information in a short period of time. So if you care anything about Blueticks, you have anything to do with Blueticks, you're going to want to listen to this thing. And we're going to be releasing part 1 today and part 2 next Monday. So stay tuned, and Brett's coming up.
All right, here's some added information on Utchman's Southern Blue Hawk and Utchman's Southern Blue Hornet. Start with Hawk here first. Hawk was born in May of 1981. Hawk's first litter was born in July of 1983 while he was just 2 years old, and he was bred steadily until his last litter was born in January of 1990. Hawk's second litter to hit the ground helped establish him as a reproducer right off the bat. This litter, which was born on July the 13th, 1983 out of Hawk and night champion, grand champion, Utchman's Blue Cheater, produced 13 pups, with 5 of them finishing out to night champion or better. Those titled dogs include night champion Wallace's Southern Blue Drum, grand night champion Purdue's Blue Light, grand night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Eagle, grand night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Jackie, and grand night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Jessie. Later that same year, still as a 2-year-old, Hawk produced a litter of 7 pups with Utchman's Blue Sack that saw 4 of them finish out. Those dogs were night champion Wilt's Blue Hawk, night champion Utchman's Southern Sandy, and night champion Righty's Blue Jolene, and night champion Senior's Southern Blue Jane. In May of 1984, Hawk's reproduction numbers continued to rise as a litter hit the ground out of him and night champion Stour's Blue Sadie Mae that had 4 of the 7 pups finish with a hunt title. Those dogs were grand night champion Jones's Bow River Hawk, grand night champion Stony Creek Blue Light, night champion Utchman's Blue Thunder, and grand night champion Hartwick's Blue Sky Lisa. It is important to note that at this point I've mentioned 3 of Hawk's first 5 litters. For the record, that is 16 of 30 pups from his first 5 litters attaining a night hunt title. No wonder he became such a popular reproducer. Now we're just going to fast forward a couple of months, and another notable litter was born in July 1984 out of Hawk and night champion Utchman's Blue Bell. Out of the 10-pup litter, 6 finished to night champion or better. Those 6 were night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Lacey, grand night champion Utchman's Blue B.A., night champion East Texas Blue Rambler, night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Jack, grand night champion Dump Road Easy, and grand night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Hawk Jr. This same cross out of Hawk and Bell happened again in February of 1987 and produced another 10 puppies, with 4 of them finishing out. Those 4 were night champion O'Neill's Blue Locket, night champion Jet's Bell Star, and grand night champion Pudro River Blue Carry, I think that's how you pronounce that, and Utchman's Blue BJ. Bell whelped 38 pups, with 14 of them earning titles. That's pretty impressive. In January of 1989, Hawk and grand night champion Russell's Blue Misty produced a litter of 7 pups, with 7 of those pups finishing out. Those dogs were night champion Hubbard's Mid-Ohio Dozer, night champion Dark Hollow Doc, night champion Utchman's Southern Blue Kitten, grand night champion Prairie Creek Blue Kitty, night champion Russell's Blue D, grand night champion Little Lady, and night champion Blue Bell. Later that year, in May of 1989, a litter out of Hawk and night champion Smiley's Rock Ann hit the ground, with 6 of the 12 pups finishing. Those dogs were grand night champion Halls County Line Hank, grand night champion Smoky River Blue Thunder, Night Champion Smiley's Blue Dominic, Night Champion Smiley's Blue Zeus, Grand Night Champion Leach's Blue Frosty, and Night Champion Leach's Patch. Grand Night Champion Utchman Southern Blue Hornet, like his grandsire Hawk, was one of a long line of dominant reproducers with the Utchman name attached to them. I show Hornet having the sixth most titled dogs sired in the breed's history and 8th in the total number of pups produced. Here's some of the dogs he threw. Born in August of 1996, Hornet wasted no time in getting pups on the ground, with his first litter being born in May of 1998, well short of his second birthday, and though he sired only 6 litters in the 1990s, the new millennium brought forth a lot more opportunities. In November of 2000, Grand Night Champion McCullough's Boston Mountain Gypsy dropped 8 puppies, with 3 of them earning a title. Those 3 were Night Champion McCullough's Sugar, Champion McCullough's Kings River Jesse, and Grand Night Champion Utchman's Southern Blue Fly. The next month, 3 more titled dogs were born out of Grand Night Champion Chore's Blue Molly. That 7-pup litter included Night Champion Mooney's Pea Ridge Blue Thurman, Grand Night Champion Utchman's Southern Blue Timber, and Champion Hostetler's Blue Honeybee. Continuing the trend in December litters, in 2001, Grand Night Champion Clifty Creek Blue Mindy dropped a litter of Hornet pups that 5 of the 9 pups titled out. Those 5 were Grand Night Champion Mosley's Blue Grit, Grand Night Champion Utchman's Southern Blue Clyde, Night Champion Utchman's Southern Blue Leanne, Night Champion Widener's Southern Blue Brittany, and Grand Night Champion Rose's Blue Hornet's Baby Rosie. Then 1 year later, in December of 2002, Night Champion Mock's Blue Jammin' Jaden dropped an 11-pup Hornet litter that had 6 title out. Those 6 were Kingery's Blue Chipper, Night Champion Utchman's Blue Sassy, Grand Night Champion North Blue Cricket, Grand Champion Utchman's Southern Blue Satin, Grand Night Champion North Star Blue Julie, and Grand Night Champion Hollis's Tootsie. In February of 2003, Grand Night Champion Swafford's Blue Sugar had 7 puppies that had 4 of them title out from a cross with Hornet. Those 4 were Night Champion Mosley's Blue Sting, Night Champion Hunter's Blue Angel, Grand Night Champion Boone's Mackey Creek Blue Princess, and Champion Parton's Blue Kate. Hornet had successful litters into his 11th year of life. 1 litter when he was 9 years old in September of 2005 was out of, I think it's Poudreau's River Blue Leanne. Out of 9 puppies in that litter, 3 achieved a title, including Night Champion Blake's Tank, Night Champion Poudreau River Blue Sarah, and Night Champion Hornet's Southern Blue Saggy.
This is your host, Jason Snellgrove, and I will be your guide as we journey down the road to pleasure hunt or hitting the long trail to those great cop hunts. This is the Coonhound Collective podcast. We are back at it again today, and we have got a good podcast for you today. You're being awful quiet over there already.
I'm just excited.
Okay.
You hear me in there, Judge?
I got you. Don't start that again.
Just tree me right there.
Your coyote mess.
Just tree me right there.
You want to do the introductions? Or you want me to?
You can. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So today on the Coonhound Collective podcast, we got Mr. Lonnie Utchman. Mr. Lonnie, how's it going?
Good, real good.
I'm glad to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. And we got Mr. Tom Williams. Mr. Tom, how's it going?
Going good today.
Appreciate you helping getting this all put together and get Mr. Lonnie up here, and so we can get this recorded. I think this is going to be a good one. People's going to really enjoy listening to and get the story of the Utchman Blueticks. We need that history preserved and told for sure. So
we're currently recording at the Booger County Coon Club in Ava.
Yeah.
That's when we have the memorial hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
William Utchman Memorial Hunt. That's coming up
3 weeks.
the 22nd?
20th, right around
20th.
Yeah. Okay.
So is this going to get...
This will get released just probably the week of or the week before that hunt. So
people traveling can listen to this.
Yeah, they'll be able to listen to it. So that'll be about right timing.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah. Well, you got anything you want to add? You want to get into it?
No, I just want to let everybody know that we were where we were at.
Yeah.
Because just the feel of it for us here is important to me.
Yeah.
To be interviewing Lonnie, and
Yeah. And we want to.
We've been waiting on this for a month.
Yeah. And we get to the point we won't talk about the memorial hunt and stuff like that, but let's start off with how you got into coon hunting and how this line of dogs come about.
Where we was raised, everybody had a hound, but about every one of them was X-bred dogs, which we call them grade. And I'm talking about like in the 40s and early 50s. Dad told a guy that he hunted with, and I'll tell you, the guy's name was John Fowler. He told him one time, he said, one of these days I'm going to get me a registered dog. John and all these hunt buddies, they just laughed. They said, oh, well, Dad got him a registered dog. He got a young dog. This dog has never been mentioned. He called him Rambler. He went to Old Grant. And Dad told me he caught enough coon hides with this dog back in the, I guess it'd been the early 50s, maybe late 40s, ever when he got him. It was before Lake Bar. So at a year and a half old, the dog took distemper and died. And so Dad went back, and that's when he got Lake Bar. And I guess, I really don't know, but I kind of think he got Lake Bar as a puppy, But anyway, that was the deal on that. But anyway, old Lake Bar, he died. The dog died early. He died early. But everybody in that country came and bred English dogs, spotted dogs, whatever they was. They'd breed a lot of dogs from Lake Bar. A lot of people didn't know that. And I didn't know a lot of this till later in the years. But some of the best dogs in our country when I was a kid and before I was old enough to hunt was out of old Lake Bar, and I did not know that. And, they just wanted coon hunting, coons, But anyway, that's how that got started. So he bred that female. He's working on a dam, I guess, over here at Branson. Mm-hmm. And Sleepy Pinksley, they bred a female to Old Lake Bar, and that's how they come up old Bryant's Joy and Clint Walker's Old Dick and all them dogs. Mm-hmm. But anyway, which we know Joy was the mother's old leading Rambler and those dogs, So, yeah. Anyway, all of our dogs, I'm talking about after 70 years, goes back to Old Lake Bar.
Yeah.
And that's something. And Lake Bar didn't live to be very old, I think 5 or 6, which this is before my time. I'm just going on what I hear, But anyway, Lake Bar is probably the foundation of all of our dogs from the beginning, which old Lead ended up being Smoky River Blue Lead, was a grandpup of Lake Bar. He was out of Bryant's Joy, and Joy was out of Old Lake Bar, and anyway, that made Beans Ranger was a grandpup of Lead. And probably the Beans Ranger dog is every dog that us Utchman boys had owned and went back to Beans Ranger.
So your coon hunting journey actually started with your dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
My dad, yes, he was a die-hard Bluetick man.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our grandpa was a Bluetick. He was a die-hard coon hunter.
Right.
But back then, when he hunted, there wasn't many coon.
Mm-hmm.
The lake wasn't even in. It was the river then.
Yeah. So they was probably treeing possums or whatever.
Oh, yeah. If they caught 5 or 6 coon a year, they done good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, my dad probably had the best ear for a hound of anyone I ever knew in my life. It was unreal. And but anyway, he was a houndsman. Yeah. And he knew what he wanted, and he was a hunter. Yeah. He knew how to hunt. And I hope he taught us boys how to hunt, you know. But
Well, I'd say so. Y'all have had some success, so I'd say he taught you something.
Yeah, I hope so. So, but I hunted a lot with Wilbur and hunted a lot with Gary. Gary and I, we competition hunted a lot. Hunted with Doyle, hunted with Ricky. We all hunted. And probably overall, the family, I would predict, would probably had more top coon dogs than any family in the United States of any breed.
Yeah. Those 5 of y'all boys?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And we was hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hunted. Wilbur and I, we probably, I would say, we probably was the toughest human beings ever lived. Because we'd lay block 5-6 days a week and hunt every night.
Yeah.
And did not take no kind of drug, no kind of aspirin, nothing. We was
Just
we
working
was
hard.
mental tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess your journey coon hunting started probably before you could even remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, it did. I'd cried to go hunting with Wilbur and Gary and them boys before I was even big enough to hunt.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 0 out.
Yeah.
And but I remember the first real good hunt I ever went on. I was probably 12, 13-year-old. Gary had old Ranger's daddy, Jack Frost, and we had old Flash, which is out of old Rambler and Cliff Coggins' Bell. And then Dad had an all-blue female he called Gypsy. And we went to the game refuge at Clark Ridge, and they just opened it. It was closed. It's a turkey pen. It's where they race wild turkeys. They opened it, and Dad and I went down there and treated 13 coon that night. And I never will forget it. But that ruined me. It ruined me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hunted. I probably hunted as hard as any kid that ever lived because I didn't get to play sports. And Benjay, brother between me and Gary, he was a football player, track player, and I milked cows. So when I got my milking done, I went coon hunting. And that was 6-7 nights a week.
How old was you then, Lonnie?
I was probably 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Gary and I and Wilbur, we'd go probably, Gary was real good to me. He'd always take me to competition hunts. I didn't have the money to go, but we'd go about 5 hunts a year, about what we hunted. Yeah. Now, I'm talking about UKC. But, you know, back in the late 60s, our country was full of, I guess you could call them X-dogs today, but we called them grade dogs back then.
Yes, sir.
And people went to breeding them, you know, trying to register them and get them registered, you know, PR. But in the late 60s, our club, we'd hunt 40 to 50 dogs, 30 of them be grade dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe 40 of them be grade dogs.
So did you grow up right here around this area, right here close? So this has been your home club the whole time? Yeah.
Matter of fact, my great-grandpa lived out on 76 out here on Beaver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you start getting older and you're hunting, when do you remember your first competition hunt you were in?
I do. I hunted Gary's old Flash female. Yeah, I think I won 7th place.
Okay. Yeah. And so I guess as y'all brothers and your dad had these dogs coming up, how'd y'all continue to progress the line of dogs that you have?
It was probably us boys more than our dad, because you know he only raised 11 kids, you know. But anyway, he hunted, and Wilbur and Gary and myself probably, and then Doyle and Ricky, which they're younger, they come along. But I would predict that I don't know, we was good hunters and we wanted good hounds.
Yeah.
We went to a hunt. It ain't like today. It's different today. Today, everybody wants their dog to coon by itself. We wanted our dog to outrun yours and outstrike yours, and we wanted it to get treed first. That's the way we hunted. We was after speed and straightness. I know Dave Dean told Gary old Flash probably is the straightest dog he ever hunted with. when Gary lived in Michigan. But our dogs had to be straight because we was lucky to see 2 or 3 coon a night where we lived, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the coon hunt wasn't that great.
No, we didn't. Missouri had a lot more coon than Arkansas. When we crossed the line, it just like if you went from Missouri to Iowa. It's just totally different when we was growing up. Eat all your game, turkey, deer, everything was different.
Yeah. When did you realize that we have dogs that can really win, and you decided that I'm gonna really push and competition hunt?
You know, I probably which I bought Beans Ranger, but I had a Gary's Flash female called Belle, and Wilbur had a female called Fly. And in our area, they was probably 1.5, 2-year-old. There wasn't nothing beat them. I mean, they was quick. And which Wilbur's, his female lived to be old, but mine, I bred her to Carl Wilcox Jimmy dog, and she had pups, and she died, milk fever. So I lost mine, and that's one reason I bought Beans Ranger. That's what headed me toward Beans Ranger, because I lost my dog.
Who'd you get Beans Ranger
Luther
from?
Beam from Caulfield, and he was 5-year-old, and here's the story on him. Gary and Wilbur, he was out of Gary's Jack dog, and Jack went blind. We had to have him put to sleep when he was 2. Gary won a lot of stuff with Jack, a real competition dog. But the thing of it is, they tried to buy this dog, and they never could get him bought. So Wilbur and I was at a hunt at Melbourne, Arkansas, and we hit Luther up. He said, yeah, I might sell him. Well, the next day after church, we were sitting in his driveway, and I bought him. And
you didn't waste no time.
I tell you what, boys, he had the best mouth you ever heard put on a hound.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been hunted, you know, all 5 years pretty much by himself. And when he treed, you did not budge him. And he's probably one of the straightest hounds I've ever seen. Yeah, very straight. But he had a hole in him, like a lot of dogs do. He was moody.
Yeah.
And when he was moody, you just well put him back in the truck. But he was a good hound.
Yeah. So I guess you raised some pups out of him, or?
You know, bred 7 females to him.
Yeah.
And you're not going to believe this, but at one time he had reproduced more Grand Knights than Diamond Jim and Hammer 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now think about that.
Wow.
I was 18-year-old. I didn't breed much to him.
Yeah.
But the sucker was a reproducer. Yeah.
So did you prefer male dogs or females, or you didn't care as long as they done what you wanted?
If they was good, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I like a good-looking dog. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. I like a good-looking dog. But it really didn't matter. I've had good females, a lot of good females.
So after Beans Ranger, what dog did you?
Well, I had a dog called Lonzo, which Wilbur had a dog called Rebel, which Wilbur bred Rebel, which Rebel be Hawk's daddy. Rebel was, I could say, a #1 reproducer of all times.
Yeah.
He was a good reproducer.
Yeah.
And a good-looking dog, and he had 4 wins toward Grand, and Wilbur wouldn't go maybe once every 2 or 3 years. You know, he didn't care. But Rebel was a very good reproducer. Now, my dog, he wasn't the reproducer that Rebel was. Absolutely wouldn't. But I did breed him some, but he did throw a coon dog or 2, but not like Rebel.
Yeah.
But so anyway, for me, I had Beans Ranger, then Rebel comes along, but he belongs to Wilbur. Then I end up with Hawk, and then after that, it went Hawk, Scout, Hornet, just right on down the line. But
so after, I guess, you ended up with Hawk, and you start hunting him, training him, and breeding him some, I guess, after he got older. So how did that go with Hawk as far as getting him started and stuff like that?
You know, I got him from Gary as probably 14 months old, and spoiled rotten. Gary had got him from Tim Massey, and the dog was spoiled and didn't know nothing. I mean, didn't know nothing. So Gary got aggravated at him, and he called me, and he told me if I wanted that dog, come and get him. So I went and got him. I'll just tell you, I get $500 for him. And I had the patience. I was needing a project, and I'd go out there and I'd sit down, and all at once you'd hear him tree a coon a quarter of a mile. Then he'd give you next time. He just kept progressing. Well, I will tell you this: in all my life of coon hunting, he'd tree more coon laid up than any dog ever seen in my life. He'd tree coon that Grand Night champion dogs didn't know was in the woods. It's just a gift. I didn't make him that way. It was a gift. And I won a lot of hunts on account of that. But he could trail a coon. He could run a coon. But he was probably the best layup dog. Not a pop-up dog. Now, he'd tree pop-ups. I ain't saying that. There's a difference pop-up dog and a layup dog. But he was the best layup dog ever seen in my life. Nothing even come close.
Yeah, and of course you competition hunted him.
Oh yeah.
And he was on the on the reproducers list.
Yes, I bred him. I went to breeding him pretty early. I had a couple good females. Old Cheater was a female, granddaughter of old Wilbur's old Ranger 2, which Gary ended up a Ranger 2, and threw some world's best pups. And I don't know how many grands in that litter, but. And then Doyle had a female he called Belle, litter mate to Gary's Ranger 4 dog, and bred her to him. And every one of them made night champion or grand. It was unreal. It just everything clicked, you know.
So we got some more dogs we're going to talk about here, but before we go down there, I'm sure there's been some lines that's come out of this line of dogs, a line of Blueticks. That's come out of there. Do you know off the top of your head any lines that's come from y'all's line of Bluetick?
Rambo 2.
Come from
Rambo 2's grandpapa Hawk. His mother's out of Hawk. Yeah.
Okay, so that Rambo stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Smiley's
Rambo 2.
Okay.
Grandpapa Hawk. And then what's the dog we was looking at a while ago?
Was it a Clyde dog?
Yeah, Clyde. Yeah, Clyde. Yeah, he's a brother of Rambo too, ain't he? Clyde.
The
Bayou Blue Clyde.
Yeah.
Bayou Blue.
Yeah, he's Grandpapa Hawk. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm getting at, probably, I don't know, the last few years, about every blue dog that placed in some major hunt
Right.
went back to our dog somewhere or another.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I mean, I'm not from this area. I'm from Alabama originally, and I knew Utchman Blueticks. I didn't know any of y'all, but I knew that name, and I'm sure there's been some line of dogs that come from the starts of this.
Yeah, that for us, Lonnie Smiley, Lonnie's a good friend of all of us boys, real good friend of all of us, and he'd come up and he'd hunt hawk, and he thought the world of old hawk. He bred the old hawk a lot. Lonnie did, and he had a old Rock Ann, and that was old Misty and Angel and all them dogs his mother, see. But anyway, I was trying to think. I for as another branch off, I really don't, right off the top of my head right now, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I could just kind of assume, with as much influence as your family's had on the Bluetick breed.
Yeah, Lonnie come to mine Gary's house a lot. Right. I hunted a lot with Lonnie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you had hawk, you're breeding hawk, and I guess do you start messing with another young dog?
Yeah, I get old Scout.
Wait a minute. I want to back up.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like there's just a lot more with Hawk that we ain't covered. Hawk's mama?
It's Carol, out of Ranger 2.
Carol.
She is out of Ranger 2.
Tell me about her.
Okay.
I want to know about her.
She is a coon dog, buddy. I mean a good one. And her daddy, the Ranger 2 dog,
Yeah?
buddy, he was a coon dog. Yes, he was.
That was her. That was
out of Beans
Carol's.
Ranger. Yeah.
Okay.
So, see, these dogs, like old Hawk, he goes back to Beans Ranger both ways. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So, really, what I'm getting at, all of our dogs goes back to Dad's Lake Bar dog on account of old Lead. Well, old Flash is all old Ramler, so there we go. So, think about that.
Yeah, and I was trying to pull up here what.
Yeah, Gary, he'd bought old Carol and Hawk when Hawk was a pup from Tim Massey. Tim Massey worked at Mountain Home. He was a sheetrock hanger, and he'd go off and work and stuff, and Gary bought both of them at the same time.
So did Tim have, who'd you say had Blue Carroll, Tim?
Tim Massey, if you'll see on old Hawk's pedigree, the breeder is Tim Massey.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, see, Tim Massey was the one that owned them. Gary bought them from Tim.
Gotcha. Says here, Hawk's date of birth, May 20th, 1981.
Yeah.
I like to go. I know it's hard to remember all them dates and stuff.
I can. I try. Yeah.
But I like to see how far back we're talking. So this that dog was born in '81. So his mid to late '80s is when he was.
Well, the thing of Hawk was I got to breeding so many females to him, I quit hunting him.
Oh, okay.
And I went to hunting scout. I quit hunting old Hawk probably when he was 4 years old.
Really?
And I wish I'd never done it, but I did. And he ended up, I didn't know nothing about Lyme disease, tick fever, but he had autoimmune disease. And he didn't last very long. He died time he was 8 years old. Yeah. Just think now, if Hawk would live to be 10, what kind of record would he had?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now think about that.
He died at when?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Well, a Rebel died in his 8. Think about that. Baines Ranger died in his 8.
Tom, you're quiet.
I'm just listening.
You're just listening?
Yeah, we didn't collect no semen. I didn't believe in collecting semen, and I still don't. I ain't. If my dog can't reproduce the dog I got today, I need to quit anyway. And the thing of it is, Tom asked me here the other day, he said something about the semen, if I could have semen on old Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Tom, this is one thing that 5 of us boys probably would agree on that never agreed on very much in our life. Every one of us probably would say we'd rather have semen on Baines Ranger. Okay, if we got semen on Baines Ranger, Gary could have Ranger 2 again, Wilbur could have Rebel again, then we could race Hawk again.
Right.
See, if we went straight to Hawk, we would skip some of the best dogs that ever lived that people don't recognize.
Right. So, but some of that, I mean, what years are we talking? 70s?
On what?
Like to keep the semen on, say, like Hawk or Baines Ranger?
Baines Ranger was early 70s. I bought him, I think, in 73.
Yeah. And so
and how he become Baines Ranger, I want to explain this to people, too. I bought the dog. He was not night champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over and I buy him, and Gary and we go to Springfield that weekend and win first place. And so Gary sends the papers off, and the papers come back as Utchman's Ranger in Gary's name. Well, I said, he ain't Gary's dog, he's mine. So I send them back to UKC to get him in my name. And that time that win had come in, so they had it Baines Ranger in Lonnie's name. Well, then I'm 18 years old. I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to do over, I would have done it different.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the reason he's Baines Ranger.
Yeah. But the technology then is not the technology we have now for freezing semen and saving it.
Well, I talked to different people, even back when I had old Hawk and them. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't believe in it. I don't want to live in the past. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to look straight ahead. I'm like a good mule. I want to look straight ahead. But anyway, I talked to some people that's a lot smarter than I ever was or ever will be, but they weren't very fond of the semen back in those days.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of people that don't know today the technology that's out. I mean, there's a lot of people that do, but there's still a lot that don't, for sure. You know, I actually talked to my vet, which is a large animal vet, and you know he made a comment to me about the dog semen not being as stable as some of this other, and I do think that was the case, you know, back years ago.
Then, yeah.
But nowadays things has come so far. It's different.
You just don't hear it. I mean, you don't hear of it that much. Even I mean, I don't know if Dwayne Clark, if he got any elbow rock in them or.
Yeah, there was some out of rock. But,
and that was in the 70s.
Yeah, and I think he took him to Texas, if I remember right, is where he had to take him to have him collected. So,
But I know I talked to Rod Rose about it, and that's even when Rod had a World's Fair, he tried it, and his vet up there, they didn't agree. You know, it didn't work.
yeah.
But anyway, I thought I'll just carry on with what I got.
Yeah, well, it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
It has definitely worked, that's for sure.
If you had 2 breedings on hawk, you'd use them?
Yes. And I'd hoard the pups.
Keep every one of them, wouldn't you?
Hey, I definitely would if old Cheater and Bell's still alive.
So on those,
And wait a minute, old Wheatie, old Scout's mother, we only got 1 litter of pups out of her. And old Wheatie, I bought her from Bob Wheat, see, and I give her to Mike Chore, which Mike and I were good, best of friends. And I told Mike, I said, I'm going to give her to you, but when you breed her a hawk, and I want 2 pups. And old Scout was one of them.
I'll be.
So those females that y'all were buying to cross, what were they out of?
The Bell female is all Gary's Flash 2 female.
Okay.
She's Utchman Brett.
Okay.
Okay. And he had a dog he called Hammer, Elbow Flash, and Dave Dean's Hammer 3. Okay. And that's what Bell. Okay. Bell, Mash went back to him. Gary's Ranger 4 went back to him, but I mean, this blood, we're talking about some of the best blood in the world here.
Right.
You know, coming from both sides. So you got to get something.
Yeah.
Well, old Cheater was out of Rankin's lead, and a female, old Ranger 2. And Buddy, I don't know how many grand nights she had, but she had a bunch.
You have something else?
Yeah, I never got to. I was wanting to read this about Hawk. It says he had 914 puppies.
Yeah.
72 night champions and 25 grand nights. 97 title dogs. Hawk was one of the hounds that helped put the Blue Dogs where they are today. His name shows up on lots of pedigrees. He died at the age of 8 years old. I remember looking through the magazines when I was younger, and if you ever run across the Blue Dog, and because I always like looking at pedigrees, and it doesn't matter, and you're not going to believe this, but I even look at Walker Dog pedigrees sometimes. I don't know why. What?
I don't believe it, but go ahead.
I really do. Some of them I just read through real quick. But it seems like, it's like I mean, you just can't turn the page at Blue Dog, and it's back in that day for sure for me, and it was just Utchman's this, Utchman's that, Utchman's this, Utchman's that, and it's like I've hunted around Lonnie since I started, been beat by him a few times, always looked up to him, good dog handler, good dog man. I thought, this guy's a legend. He just lives an hour and a half or an hour and 15 minutes from me, you know, and it's neat as a young houndsman starting out to see all that. It kind of gives you goosebumps just thinking about it, you know. And because in the English, being an English dog guy, looking at some of that stuff, you just kind of think about it, and you really don't know those guys, and they may live way off. It doesn't mean as much to you. Yeah. But when somebody's close and you get to know them, and then you see them just cover to cover and cover, as a kid, it's just awesome.
There's a lot of influence there for sure in the Blue Dogs.
Did Hawk style like? I mean, I know he's a layup dog, but
He older he got, I believe I could cut him downtown Springfield and he'd tree coon somewhere.
no matter where you cut him, he's going to be under the
he'd tree coon. And my deal was I didn't have tracking collars, didn't have tracking. I left him in the woods twice in his life. He got so far I couldn't find him.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, if I was hunting him and I didn't hear him within an hour, I'd start driving and I'd find him treed somewhere. But now, the difference is we had a lot more places to hunt then than we got now, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything's changed a lot, you know. But
big old mouth?
Very good mouth, horn mouth, good mouth.
Did he chop mouth tree dog?
Oh, yeah, yeah. When he's young, he might have balled a little more balled some on tree, but older he got, the harder he tree. He's a tree dog. Tree dog out of this world.
Always balled on the ground, never chopped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'll take it back. He'd break his mouth a little when he get to run the coon. He would.
Would he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, old Scout wouldn't, but old Hawk would. Yeah.
You may not know this. How long was Hawk on the reproducing list, then moved to the historical? I mean, it's like
I have no idea.
every magazine I've ever looked at and looked on the. I mean, it's like he's on there.
Well,
he's been on there half of my life or more.
Well, I told you the deal on this. When I run my ads on Hawk, I'd list the pups. If you look, I'd list maybe 25, 30, 50 pups, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was night champion, grand show, grand night, whatever. Well, UKC can't print that. My opinion, this is my opinion. I may be wrong, may be way wrong. But my opinion was they can't print that until they know the proof is there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I had it wrote down. I knew myself. But that's when they started the reproducing list. That's when they started, when I went to doing that.
Keeping such close stats
Yes.
and everything.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So really, I'm the man that caused the reproducing list to come up. They didn't tell me that, but I know I am.
That's awesome.
So from Hawk, then I guess the next dog would be Scout that you had.
Yeah.
Tell us about Scout and kind of how he come about.
Scout, which he was a stud fee pup, mentioned that. I got him from Mike. Scout was a beautiful hound, big mouth, probably the other than Beans Ranger, could have been the loudest dog I ever hunted at that time. Very loud. And nephew Scotty was with me the first night I hunted him, and he treed a coon, and he sounded about like 3 dogs treed. He screamed, he hollered, he chopped, but he made a lot of noise. And I just went to hunting him. Now, they're totally 2 different dogs. People ask me a G and times my favorite dogs. They're all my favorites. At the time I've got them, they may be my favorite, but they're kind of like my mom's kids. They're all my favorite.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are 2 totally different dogs. Hawk, when I was hunting Hawk, they'd done a lot of bulldozing in our country. I remember this. A lot of farms I hunted on, dosing got popular. You know, this clearing land. Hawk would circle a doser deck and have a coon treed before another dog get his head out of the doser deck. He learned that. Very sharp. He'd be at the other end and have the coon treed before anything knew what's going on. Mm-hmm. Scout would strike his same coon. He'd run it all the way right down the middle of that deck. He'd never slow down. He'd go right down the middle of it. And that was just totally 2 different dogs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just both good tree dogs. Now, Scout wouldn't tree the layup coon Hawk would, which I never had a dog that would. Mm-hmm. But he would tree quick coon and he'd tree some layup. But had a good nose, one of the best. Yeah, sure.
Reckon why one dog tree layups like that and another one?
It was a gift.
Yeah.
They got it. You don't make them do it. Gary's Flash female was probably the second best at it any dog I ever hunted. Yeah. Gary's old Flash female treated a lot of layup coon. Yeah. And I'd say it probably come back from there somehow.
Yeah.
But no.
Scout, what was
I tell you what you could do, and I've done it. One of my better hunting buddies, I had my hunting buddies is kind of like my coon dogs. They all was special. Okay, me and a guy named Ronnie Evans hunted together for 12 years, and we hunted 6-7 nights a week, year round. If you seen 10 coon lined up down that creek right there, and you pointed old Hawk down that creek, he'd tree every one of them. If there wasn't a coon on that creek, now he may go the mile or mile and a half to tree a coon, but he would tree every coon setting up down that creek.
I'll be darned.
Sure would. I've seen him do it time and time again.
Boy, I'd love to have one like that.
I would too. would too. But like competition, for instance, I'm in Stillwater, Oklahoma when it was Grand Night. We pull up to a road. I don't remember the guide's name. I don't even remember who I was hunting with, and it don't matter. We pull up, we unload our dogs, and we see this coon sitting up across the field. And I thought, okay. We cut them. You know what happened? Old Hawk trees his coon. The other 3 dogs running this track. We go score that coon. We get old Hawk. We cut him loose, and he goes in there and he strikes another coon, and he trees it. No dogs. Just stuff like that. He done that all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. I was hunting in Ohio one year, and hit Grand Night. And we had lots of hunters go out to spectate. We had, I don't remember if it's Striker, Demon, or one of the Walker dogs that won the world with, and had a blue dog and a Walker female. And I'm not going to get no detail on the hunt or nothing like that, but I'll give you this. We cut them loose from the truck, and the dogs, all 4 of them, will leave like racehorses across this bean field, cornfield, I don't remember which. Old Hawk come back just as quick as he left. He went right behind between us and the pickup and just fell a tree and had a raccoon.
He was something else.
Yeah, he done it.
So back then, I mean, most at least when I was young, competition hunt, it was a calling contest basically.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you get but in your case, you already had a dog that would be by itself and independent.
He was independent. Hawk was naturally independent. I didn't have to shock him, make him independent like they do nowadays. I don't have to do that.
So did that carry on through some of his other dogs?
Well, no, not that. You know my theory on that, and I've told Tom this a many a time. My theory on that: if you hunt a dog, and make a coon dog out of it, it'll be independent enough to tree its own coon, but it still will cover another dog. And I don't care if I'm hunting. I've hunted a lot of 1-year-old dogs, getting 4- and 5-year-old dogs in my life, competition hunting. And I guarantee you don't recognize this until you go to competition. But there's a lot of times I'd go out there, and this year-old dog would tree a coon, and them other dogs may not tree with it, but this year-old dog, she's going to stay treed no matter what, because I've done my homework and it's bred in her.
Yeah.
So, you can see the independence there is what I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously you bred Scout because he.
Yeah, I bred Scout quite a bit.
You was trying to move on to Scout, and I kind of detoured all that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Before we go on, I got something else.
Go ahead.
I want to know the most. Well, first off, I bet you made a pile of friends with Hawk.
I did.
I bet you made a lot because there's
week.
no way you can't
Hey,
have
guy,
that happen with me.
there was. How come you think my phone's unplugged? Hey, I had somebody at my house every weekend.
Lonnie, is your phone unplugged or is it broke?
No, it's unplugged. But anyway, someone at my house every weekend and 3 or 4 nights through the week. And I met a lot of good people. And I met some I wish I'd never see again.
You get that from having a stud dog, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that deal in public.
Yeah, that's true. Just
Hey, I carry the mail today. So the mail carrying's a whole lot the same deal. You meet a lot of people that you don't wish you'd never see again.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was wanting to ask you, as far as a hunt, or what's the most memorable thing with you with Hawk?
Hawk?
Like, what's the most memorable?
Ooh, shoot, I don't even remember.
I mean.
Oh, I can tell you.
Okay.
First hunt I ever hunted him in. We'll get to that right now.
Okay.
Brother Gary, he's always, telling me about all these. He talked to more people than I ever did. Gary does. So anyway, Gary, he sells Ranger 2, and he gets him back. And Buddy Jordan, he gets a dog called. I forget what he calls that dang dog, but anyway, he's made to Gary's Ranger 3 dog. And, we hear a lot about how potent this dog is, So anyway, I get down to a Bluetick hunt in Arkansas, and I draw this dog. And I draw a dog out of Joe House's Diamond Jim dog. Never will forget, boy, he had a loud mouth. That sucker was loud. And I draw another Bluetick dog. And this is the first time I ever hunt Hawk in a hunt. And we're out there and wading water. Hawk don't even know how to swim. I didn't even know it. Hey, this dog don't know how to swim, but we're wading water up about right here. And, boy, we cut him in there. And this dog that Buddy Jordan had bought, old Ranger 2 that Gary's bragging on, he jumped him a deer and he left the country. Hawk and these other two dogs strike a coon. And, boy, they running this coon. Oh, Hawk comes treed, and I tree him. These other two dogs just keeps a-running. We go score Hawk's coon. So I cut him back in for 25. He trees another coon. These dogs keep a-running. The blue dog that's running the deer is still out of the picture. But anyway, Hawk ends up treeing 3 singles by himself that night. And the first time I hunted him in. And I thought, man, I've got me something here. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, there wasn't even nothing. The dogs never did even slow down these old Hawk's trees.
Wow. How old was he then? Do you remember?
He probably, he might have been close to 18. Cause I think he was 3 and I made him grand. I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
But I made him grand like in 12, 14 hunts.
Did he start did he start real early? Or?
Well, he started early when I got him, but he never was hunting until I got him. So.
Oh.
Okay. He was 14 months old when I got him.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. But no, I wouldn't. He didn't tree, he had tree. I mean, he was a natural tree dog, but it wasn't like the first night you go out, he run and treed. No, right. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary done throwed enough rocks at him. He didn't do that. Yeah. But he did. He come on good. He did. He come on good.
Tom, you got anything to add on old Hawk?
Well, guess I think he's covered it.
Okay. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything about Hawk, because I know the influence he's had on the breed. And
yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. Tell us about, let's talk about Scout some more and some of the dogs he produced.
Scout was, Bab says, probably the smartest dog she ever seen. Mm-hmm. Bab walked Scout a lot. She'd walk him up the road and this and that. And I'd be out there in the yard doing something. I'd say, she'd go put him up and I'd say, Scout, come here. Real low in my voice, like if he was talking to a stock dog. Mm-hmm. Scout just balked. Bab didn't know what was going on. Absolutely did not have a clue. Lonnie, come and put your dog up. But that dog would mind me. It's unreal. But he was a coon dog. He was. He was a coon dog. Scout was a coon dog.
Any dogs come to mind that's out of Scout that really stand out to you?
Hornet,
yeah. And we're going to talk about him here in a minute. And
there's a lot of dogs out of Scout that was good.
Yeah,
there was a lot of dogs. Even in this area, even around Chadwick and around Ava, there was yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had Hawk and
do you know I won 8 second places for Scout before I won first?
Is that right?
I never won nothing else. 8 seconds before I won the first.
Wow. So, you had Hawk as a stud dog. Now you got Scout as a stud dog. I mean, how'd you have a life?
Hey, buddy, if you pulled up in my yard and drove up in my yard and old Scout was tied under that shade tree, you couldn't keep from breeding to him.
Yeah.
He was the prettiest hound that Bluetick hound ever walked.
Huh. Yeah, it sounds like your phone never stopped ringing.
It didn't. Yeah. It's broke.
Scout 2001 reproducing list. He was number 4.
Yeah, Scout. He
same year that Hawk was, with 52 titled dogs. So in 2001, you had a dog on the historical number 1, and in 2000 same year number 4 on the current, with 52 titled. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Old Scout, he reproduced. He reproduced a lot of good dogs. Scout did.
What kind of mouth and stuff Scout have?
Scout. Okay, I'll tell you this. When Scout treed, you couldn't hear nothing else with him until he was 2-year-old. And when you leave a dog treed for over an hour and at about 100 degrees out there, they break their mouth. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened to him.
Really?
He broke his mouth, but he was still louder than an average dog. But when he was 2-year-old, you couldn't hear another dog treat with him.
He was loud. Was he loud? Do you think he was louder than Hawk?
Yes.
He was?
Yes, he had a scream in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had louder than Hawk. Hawk had a clear horn real purty mouth.
Yeah.
Scout's mouth, I ain't gonna say was Matter of fact, his mouth might have been purtier after he broke it than it was before he broke it. 'Cause
Yeah.
he just exploded. When
Screaming, squally, just racket making.
Yes.
Yeah.
Made a lot of noise. Yeah.
So from Scout, you said Hornet was out of Scout, right? Whenever you're breeding these dogs, I mean, you've got, Beans Ranger, and then, you said Wilbur had Rebel, and then you had Hawk, now you got Scout, and then you got Hornet. How are you picking these puppies?
Well, this Hornet come along kind of an odd situation. Hornet is out of a female of Gary's Ranger 4 dog.
Okay.
Called Bell. One of my buddies today, you guys all know him, Kevin Cook, black and white female. And they'd bred this female to old Scout different times because they thought old Scout's the best thing in the world, And I went down there 2 or 3 times before I even bought old Hornet. I didn't need him. I had a dog called Chex and had a dog called Dog. So anyway, they was young, 2-year-old. And, I had people, like I say, all the time come and go hunting. They thought them 2 dogs was everything. Well, the boys priced old Hornet cheaper enough to me. I thought, I believe I'll get him. Just put him in the pen and just wait till something happens. Well, Doyle and I, we take him over on the ranch and we turn the coon loose. And this sucker runs and trees this coon, him and Doyle's dog. And this sucker don't never shut his mouth when he trees. I mean, the prettiest tree dogs you ever heard in your life. Now, there's dogs bark more barks per minute. He'd bark 80, 90 barks a minute, but he never shut his mouth, never moved. So I thought, I got something here. So I sold the other 2 dogs. And I went to hunting Hornet.
So, and you said you got him when he was about 2?
Hornet?
Yeah.
No.
Or you got him when he was littler?
Oh, yeah, he's probably year old.
Year-old, okay. And I guess this was your dog you competition hunted some?
Oh, yeah, he was probably a good competition dog as a man could have hunted. Probably if I went to World Hunt tomorrow, Hornet probably the dog I'd take.
Yeah.
Hornet was a dog I was telling you I remembered when you come to the Garrison and Chadwick hunt when I was just starting. When I was a teenage, 18, 19, 17, whatever. I
took old Hornet one time to fall roundup at Bentonville, Arkansas, and I didn't know this, which Gary and Wilbur got on to me all the time. I mean, I loved to hunt, and they did too, but I loved to hunt. I thought you had to hunt all the time. But I'd hunt before I go to a hunt. You know what I mean? I'd hunt maybe till 4 o'clock and we'd get up 7, 8 o'clock and travel all day to a hunt. Well, that ain't fair to your dog. Hell, they're wore out. So I get down there and I draw out. And this dog, I score 675 on 3 coon. Okay? Bentonville, hunting around chicken houses. And the next day I get up and this dog is pumping blood through him. I mean, everywhere. And he had prostate trouble. See, I didn't even know it. But I did notice one thing. He come back one dump. And I told Joe Reamer, was my judge. And I told Joe, I said, if this dog was at home, I'd say there's something wrong with him. Well, see, I didn't know he was pumping blood through him.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next day, Bev and I get up, and Buddy, he was pumping blood through him. And so I just load him up, and I come home, take him to the vet, and he's got prostate trouble. Yeah. But anyway, he scored 675 on 3 coon and pumping blood through him.
How old was he when this happened?
He's probably 3.
So had you breeding? Did he have issues breeding after that? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it didn't bother him?
Didn't bother him at all.
Okay.
I could have, but I laid him up. That was my orders to not hunt him.
Not hunt him. Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if,
No, I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that because sometimes you might have, work on them. But anyway, no, I didn't. I was lucky, knock on wood.
You had to lay him up. You had to lay him up from hunting to breed.
Yes. No, to let him heal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2021, I don't know. I didn't look at any other. I just brought this one. This is that Bluetick special issue, but Hornet, 2021, #1 historical reproducer.
He had 600 some pups, didn't he?
Yeah, 65 titled. 678.
Yeah.
Yeah. 65 titled.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Well, it's in 2021. I haven't looked at I don't know if he's still on there right now or not. I don't have anything newer with me right here, but I have to look on my phone. But
You brought a library, so I didn't know if you.
well, no, you know.
What the heck are you doing?
Well,
What are you doing?
I'm eating a snack.
This ain't snack time. We interviewing somebody.
Well, I got hungry.
Smacking and chewing.
I'm
and
sorry,
such.
you have to mute my mic.
Good night.
You know how important it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you. All right, Hornet. We were talking about Hornet here. Tell us a little bit more about Hornet and you know, kind of some of the things about him and some of the dogs.
Hornet. He was a dog that would flat go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
He would tree a coon. It didn't matter if it's 0 or 10 below or whatever. He'd find the coon. He'd tree a coon somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a coon dog. Hornet was. Or if you wanted to get in a treeing contest
Yeah.
in a mulberry patch, you'd have your hands full.
Yeah.
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 The night I made him grand night, I scored 1,100 and some points.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, at Caulfield. So figure that up.
Yeah.
Boy, Unions were getting after it.
Yep.
What was he? He was a real good tree dog,
Oh,
wasn't he?
one of the best. Yeah. I went, one time I hunted him in the hunt, and a couple boys from over at Caulfield. Got started off bad, you know, dogs splitting, this and that. Hornet made 2 trees and didn't see nothing. These boys made 2 trees, which is treeing together, you know. But Hornet by himself on these 2 trees. I didn't have nothing. And let me see. They'd scored on 2 coons. So anyway, we go to the mulberry trees. And Timmy Collins, he can swear to this deal. And 55 minutes later, I like 5 points and I got beat by 5 points. I scored 700 and some points in less than 50 minutes.
About what year was this with Hornet?
That late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late 90s, what? Early 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
01, 02.
Mm-hmm. Hornet lived to be pretty old. I let Jamie take him and hunt him, you know, after he'd. I tell you what he'd do. And I don't know, you guys might have had this happen a lot, but I ain't had it happen very much, and I've owned a lot of dogs. Jamie Reeves, one of my hunting buddies, Scotty, my nephew, was hunting up on Clifty Creek one night. I was hunting no fly, just starting her. And Jamie Reeves was hunting a female, and Scotty's hunting a female. We send the dogs up Clifty Creek, and they run up on side the hill and get treed. Boy, we're having us a tree job. All 4 dogs. A little bit, old Hornet's only dog treed. Just never shuts his mouth. Just keep a treeing. Man, I can't figure out what happened to old Fly. Now, Fly's just a pup. Just a year old, just 11 months old, just starting her. And Scotty, he had a good young female, and Jamie had a good young female. Everything quit treeing, but Hornet never missed a lick. We go up there, and each one of these young dogs had a coon chewing on them. I guess somehow or another they got 3 kittens out of that dang tree, and these dogs are eating these kittens, and the Hornet ain't never took his feet off the tree.
Wow.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that.
I promise you it happened more than once.
Wow.
It never, he didn't care if you even killed him a coon, but them dogs fighting them coon, he never shut up tree.
That's crazy.
It is.
Where do these where does these females fit in here? You got Fly and.
You want to talk about them separate, or you want to roll them in with the males?
Let's roll them in so they.
Yeah, Fly is hella Hornet.
Okay, so that's right in there in that time frame.
I'll tell you about Fly. I bought her from Albert McCullough at the Moral Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking about Fly.
Yeah.
My favorite female. I ain't gonna
Was
say
she
my,
your favorite? I didn't know.
Oh, by
Okay.
far. They didn't make them any better. It'd be impossible. But anyway, I buy her from Albert McCullough at the Moral Hunt for $500, I think. 5, maybe 6. I don't remember.
How old?
She was probably 9, 10 months old. So I take her home, and I let her run loose and got other dogs to hunt. Really didn't need her, kind of like the Hornet deal, but I liked the way she looked and acted. So me and Scotty takes her coon hunting. First night we take her coon hunting, we're hunting over there, and his dog and my male dog, they run a coon down to the holler and get treed, and Boy, it's a little fly. She runs a coon up on the hill and gets treed. And boys, I swear you ain't never heard nothing come treed like it in your life. I thought, God, dog, So we get the male dogs and we go to fly. Now I'm telling you, when your fly treed, you didn't say, "Come on, let's go." You hooked the lead to her and you drug her with both hands. That's the reason she never, I don't think, ever left a tree in her life.
I drew you with fly one time.
You didn't
out of Garrison.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember her.
Yeah, but anyway, I started hunting her first night of coon season. She was 11 months old, November the 20th. She was 11 months old. I mean, turned a year old November the 20th. I took her that night by herself. She treated 3 singles. I shot all 3 of them out to her. And time she was 18 months old, she was Grand Night champion.
And that was probably still back when you had to have a first.
Yeah, I won 2 first back-to-back Bluetick hunt at Moody, Missouri, both Friday night and Saturday night.
When was that?
I don't know. I got a plaque there on the wall at home, but I don't remember when it was. I remember this. Fred Walker hunts black and tans. Fred was with us, and we're sitting up there in between 2 creeks. Dog strike, running everywhere. Fly comes off of this hill, screaming. And my buddy, she didn't co-trail, she was screaming. She come right in there within 50 yards of us and squalled off that tree, and every breath exploded, and I treated her. Fred Walker just shook it. He said, "Boy, you got a lot of nerve, don't you?" I said, "You'll see why. Dogs run all over and go over, and she got a coon."
So did you have her till she died?
Yes.
So she was a world champion Bluetick, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to hear that story.
Yeah, me too.
What's that?
The world champion.
I can't tell you because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Scotty hunted her.
Oh, okay.
That was in 04, and I was down my back. I couldn't walk. And Scotty handled her. And I don't know the details, but, she was high-scoring Bluetick female.
Right.
But for place, she did not place.
Yeah. So, and I guess you bred her some?
Fly?
Yeah.
I bred a lot.
A lot, yeah. And you got some dogs out of her that you liked, or?
Yeah.
And was you breeding her back to your stuff that y'all had?
Yeah. I bred her to Jags. Tony Clevenger, old Jags dog. He won 5th at the World Hunt that year. I bred her to him, and there was a good pup or 2. One of them got run over and killed, and this and that. Didn't have very many, 5. And I bred her to old Clyde. Her half brother, and got some real good pups. I normally didn't do that, but I did it.
And Clyde was at a Hornet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Jamie Reeves had a female old Clyde and Fly he called Sky.
Yes, sir.
But that thing was for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good.
What was
Fly was the world champion Bluetick female that year in 2004.
Yeah.
I was thinking that she placed in the top 20.
She did not. No, she just there
wasn't no other Bluetick female that made the top 20 then,
right.
or made it that far. She went the farthest.
Yes, that's the deal.
So she was the top 100.
Yes.
But not farther.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know why I was thinking she.
No.
And I don't know why I was.
Now Kevin Cook's cheater female, he won. What did he win? 7th? No, he won. What did he win?
Top 20.
Top 20. Elbow Sky. Elbow Fly. The cheater female that Kevin had.
Cheater was that a Fly?
Yeah.
And who?
Scar. Scar was old Clyde.
I forgot about Scar.
Yeah. A lot of people forget about Scar. See, there's a dog we didn't even hardly stud, and probably one of the most natural dogs that ever walked.
Wow. 70 years. 70 years. Mr. Lonnie's 70 years old, and his dad started this line of dogs. So I think that was a great part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. There's going to be more stories. We're going to talk about more dogs. There's a lot of information here, and I wanted to do the family justice, Mr. Lonnie justice, and I didn't want to put so much out there that it was like drinking from a fire hose. So that's the reason why we broke it in 2 parts. It gives me an opportunity to go through and make a better edit, make a better finished product for you all, the listener. And I want to get this out there this week because, again, if you're listening to this, I said it at the beginning, Utchman Memorial Hunt, Friday and Saturday, Booker County Coon Hunter Association, Ava, Missouri. I'm going to try to be there. I don't have a dog really to hunt. I'm going to try to be there. And we may let Brett hunt. We just ain't gonna let Brett guide, because you know what happens when he guides.
Do we need to cut our lights off? Is this a trespassing area?
No, but they're gonna see where we walk through this wet grass in this field.
Do we need to run to them?
I'm not running to mine, but
What the heck was
hold
that?
on, turn your light off. Well, they're not armadillo dogs.
Hey, Russ has got an $18 dog lead on a $2 gate. Is them dogs split? Or are they just echoing down that hall?
Not unless you own a coyote. That coyote's split. Hey, turn your light off.
We might be trespassing.
Yeah, so Brett don't get to guide no more, because we don't ever know with him. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. If you did, if you were listening to us on Apple, take 2 minutes, leave us an Apple review. Drop us a few lines. Don't just click the star. Drop us a few lines. Tell us you enjoyed the show and what we're putting out. If you're listening to us on Spotify or any YouTube, any of those, leave us a comment down there. We're going to try to get better at going through the comments. I've had a lot of messages about people enjoying the podcast. I didn't include any of that in this because there's so much information. In 2 weeks, me and Brett's going to get back to, hopefully, we'll see if we can get him over here and do something. Get back to reading some of this stuff, and we'll get those comments read and kind of get caught up on some house cleaning things. But I didn't want to take away from this interview with Mr. Lonnie Utchman. So hope you enjoyed it, and we will see y'all next week.
Thanks, guys, for listening to the Coonhound Collective podcast today. We really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and give us a like, and head over to Instagram and give us a follow. It's both at the Coonhound Collective. Also, if you would like to reach us here at the Coonhound Collective, you can reach us at thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. If there's someone that you would like to hear on the podcast or a product that you would like to hear talked about, please send it to thecoonhoundcollective@gmail.com. Thanks again. Have a great day.